November 1993, New York City. Kurt Cobain sat on a stool under dim stage lights. Candles flickered around him like a funeral nobody had planned yet. The guitar in his hands, a 1959 Martin D18E, was worth a few $1,000s that night. 27 years later, it sold for $6 million. More than Cobain ever earned while he was alive. That guitar will never be played again. It sits behind glass now, gaining value every year in a world its owner never got to see. This is what happens when fame meets money. Objects stop being things. They become relics. Price tags become mythology. From a $6 million guitar that will never be strummed again to a yacht so massive it nearly destroyed a 144-year-old bridge. These are the most expensive things ever owned by celebrities, and what they reveal is far more unsettling than the numbers. Some possessions are not valuable because of gold or craftsmanship. They are valuable because of who held them. Michael Jackson's red leather Thriller jacket, the one from the most watched music video in history, sold for $1.8 million. The zipper still works. The leather still smells like the 1980s, but nobody will ever wear it again. Diego Maradona's Hand of God jersey, the shirt from the most controversial goal ever scored, fetched $9.3 million. A single piece of fabric, soaked in sweat and scandal, worth more than most people will earn in 3 lifetimes. Bob Dylan's handwritten lyrics have commanded $2 million at auction. Words scrawled on notebook paper, worth more than the building where he wrote them. These items are never worn or played again. They are sealed, preserved, displayed behind glass. People do not buy them to use. They buy them to own a moment that shifted culture. The object is just a receipt for something that cannot be purchased. Significance. Then there is Kim Kardashian. In January 2023, she walked into Sotheby's and purchased Princess Diana's Atala cross for $200,000. More than double what anyone expected. The room went quiet. A pendant that once rested against the neck of the most photographed woman of the 20th century now belongs to the most followed woman on Instagram. That is not jewelry. That is a transfer of cultural gravity. Diana's legacy. Kim's platform. 2 entirely different kinds of fame, separated by decades, connected by a single purple cross. Diana wore it once, at a charity gala in 1987. Kim wore it to a red carpet 36 years later. Same cross, different century, different meaning entirely. Some people buy diamonds to wear. Kim Kardashian buys history to inherit. But some celebrities are not collecting the past. They are building machines to escape the present. In 2019, Drake received a Boeing 767, a freight plane converted into a private palace, gold-accented interiors, 30 seats, his signature praying hands painted across the tail. The aircraft, nicknamed Air Drake, is valued at $285 million. But here's the detail that changes everything. When that plane was delivered, Drake's entire net worth was reportedly $180 million. The jet was worth more than the man flying in it. A musician, not a tech founder, not an oil heir. Cruising in an aircraft he technically could not afford to own. He grew up in a modest Toronto home. His mother worked multiple jobs. Now her son owns a plane that most commercial airlines cannot afford either. Air Drake burns $10,000 per hour in fuel, just fuel. Jay-Z once gifted Beyoncé a jet with a bedroom and a full kitchen. John Travolta personally pilots a vintage Boeing 707, but none of them fly a plane worth more than themselves. Drake did not buy transportation. He bought proof. Proof that a kid from Toronto now owns something usually reserved for heads of state. At 30,000 feet, net worth is irrelevant. The sky does not check your bank account. Critics call it climate hypocrisy. Celebrities preaching sustainability while burning jet fuel by the ton. The jets keep flying. At that altitude, criticism is just noise on the ground. On the water, someone went even further. In April 2023, Jeff Bezos took delivery of Kourou, a 417-foot sailing yacht that cost $500 million. But Kourou had a problem before it ever reached open sea. The vessel was so tall that a 144-year-old bridge in Rotterdam, a bridge that survived 2 world wars, that watched a city rebuild itself from rubble, nearly had to be dismantled just so a billionaire's toy could leave the harbor. A city debated tearing down its own heritage for one man's yacht. Locals threatened to throw eggs at the vessel if the bridge was touched. Protests erupted online. Bezos did not flinch. He rerouted, then added a $75 million support yacht, solely to carry his helicopter. A yacht to support a yacht. Koru holds a swimming pool, a cinema, space for 18 guests and 40 crew. Maintenance alone runs roughly $82,000 per day, whether it sails or sits still in port. Tiger Woods named his own yacht Privacy. The name says everything. At this level of wealth, the ocean is not a destination. It is an exit. Anchor in Monaco, drift to Croatia, dock in Dubai. No cameras, no paparazzi, no public. The most expensive thing on the water is never the vessel. It is the silence around it. If yachts buy silence, real estate buys control. In 2025, celebrity real estate shattered every previous record. Paris Hilton purchased a Beverly Park estate for $63 million. Jake Paul, a 27-year-old YouTube boxer, bought a 5,653-acre Texas ranch for $39 million, a property larger than some European towns. A kid who started filming pranks in his bedroom now owns more land than some families have farmed for generations. But one purchase in March 2026 dwarfed them all. Mark Zuckerberg paid $170 million for a mansion on Miami's Indian Creek Island. From the air, Indian Creek looks like a green splinter floating in Biscayne Bay, close enough to see Miami's skyline, far enough to forget it exists. 41 homes, one bridge in, one bridge out. A private police force patrolling the perimeter around the clock. Inside, 9 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, a library with a secret passageway, a 1,500-gallon aquarium glowing in a darkened hall. But Zuckerberg already owned thousands of acres in Hawaii. He did not need more space. He needed something money was never designed to purchase. Control over who sees him, control over who reaches him. Control over the boundary between his life and the 8 billion people who know his name. The $170 million was not spent on a home. It was spent on a wall between one man and the rest of the world. Kurt Cobain's guitar sold for $6 million. He never earned that much while alive. Princess Diana's cross now rests against Kim Kardashian's skin. Drake flies a plane he technically cannot afford. Bezos nearly dismantled a bridge older than his grandparents. And Zuckerberg bought an island fortress, not for luxury, but for silence. These are not purchases. They are answers to a question most people never have to ask. What do you buy when you can buy anything? You buy proof that you existed. You buy distance from everyone watching. You buy a piece of someone else's legacy and wear it as your own. And sometimes you buy so much distance that you forget what closeness felt like. The most expensive thing a celebrity owns is never the object. It is the gap between their world and yours. And every year, that gap gets wider. If this changed how you see wealth, hit subscribe. We break down the stories behind the numbers most channels never explain. Now tell me, which purchase disturbed you more than it impressed you? Drop your answer below.